Guess what? We're starting on to our next Rancho Gordo bean, and this one is the Alubia Blanca. It's a small white bean. I would say it's probably similar to a navy bean. They call it a Spanish-style heirloom bean that feels at home in kitchens from Mexico to Tuscany. So Mexican to Italian to New England. So that sounds to me like a Boston brown bean. The way it's cooked. Enjoy a simple bowl finished with roasted tomatoes and garlic and salads, or even baked beans. We'll see. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet. I'm going to look up some recipes, but I did not put these to soak last night. I didn't have time. And it didn't happen this morning either. I was trying to get out the door. So now what I've done, I've just dumped them into some water and I've washed them. Okay, see how the water's a little bit dirty? And I just stirred them around good to make sure that they got rinsed well. Let's see if I can get here. I'll show you what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed. There we go. But bring this over here and put it in my Instant Pot. And I'm going to do the quick boil method. I'm going to boil them for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes there, like the directions recommend. Actually, since these aren't soaked though, I should give them a little bit more. I'm going to give them a full what? A full, about 1.5 inches above the beans. And I'm going to bring you around here and show you what I'm doing. I'm going to hit the meat stew button. And even though it says 35 minutes, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to let them come to a boil, boil them for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to change my timer, and I'll show you how I do that. That just means it's on, and it's going to start heating. So you can use this just for slow cooking, but I like the glass lid. I got it for Christmas, and I like the fact that I can see through it and see what's happening. Whereas with the black lid, of course, you don't know. Now in a pressure cooker, you don't need to see what's happening in the pressure cooker. But here it is, it's in my pantry. But for slow cooking, you kind of want to make sure it's keeping simmering or not boiling too hard. So I'm going to put my lid on. Okay, my timer went off for 15 minutes. You see my beans are boiling nicely. And now I'm going to change my settings here. I'm going to turn it off, turn it on. I'm going to set it to slow cook. 4 hours sound good. It's on normal. I'm going to leave it there, and then I'm going to put my glass lid on, and that should be enough. And I'm going to check it before the 4 hours is up. I'm just going to wait and cook it until the beans are tender. All right, we're to the next step, and I finally decided we're doing Boston baked beans. And I was looking for recipes online for a place to start, you know, in terms of quantities. And I found one that sounded pretty good. It didn't have too much sugar in it, because a lot of those are really have a lot of sugar in them. Now I've got my skillet hot, and it needs to have 1 diced onion and 2 cloves of garlic. And I'm going to saute that with no oil. It's going right away. Look at that. Yeah, my pan was really hot. I'm going to keep it moving so it doesn't burn. It's just browning a little. And I'm going to give it a pinch of brown sugar. I'm going to give it a splash of broth. Look at all the steam coming off of that. So this is apple cider. It's like apple juice, apple cider. It's got some ketchup, molasses, sage, and mustard, and a few dashes of hot sauce in there. That looks good. That'll make a nice sauce for the beans. You can put it in and taste them. Now here's my beans. And they've simmered away a lot of the liquid already. So I might have to add more liquid, we'll see. And this is a recipe you can do in the oven if you have a Dutch oven or a casserole that you can put in, you can put it at 325 and bake it with no lid in your oven. Or I'm gonna try it in my slow cooker, why not? That's what they're for. Let me give that a try. Try not to fry anything. Let's see how that looks. I don't think they're gonna be overly sweet, not overly dark. Oh, I did throw a few bay leaves in there. Once I found my recipe that I wanted to use, it called for bay leaves. I threw those in the pot with the beans when they were simmering. I think that's gonna need a little more liquid, but that looks good. I'm gonna put in some smoked paprika, because that's gonna give it the smoky flavor that would have been in the barbecue sauce. It has molasses. I am gonna put a little brown sugar in. A little organic brown sugar. Yeah, I know it's still sugar, but for Boston baked beans, they gotta get a little sweet going on. So what else can I throw in there? I'm gonna throw in a little crushed red pepper flakes. Yeah. All right, we'll see you in 3 hours when they're nice and simmered, okay? All right. Well, you know what? Sometimes you have to drop back and punt, and I needed to make a few changes in my beans. When I did them in the Instant Pot on slow cook, they were cooking, and they weren't reducing in the liquid. Instead, it seemed like they were getting juicier, and I wanted them to dry out a little bit. So instead of, I took them out of there and I put them in a cast iron pot. It's not cast iron, it's enamel pot. Enamel pot. Cast iron. Yeah, but it's got enamel on it. That's right. Yes, cast iron with enamel pot. There's a fancy name for it. I can't think of it now. And I did them in the oven instead. Oh, those look good. Now they're a little bit juicy, but you know what? That's going to thicken up when they sit out. They'll thicken up. Let's see what's going on. Oh, those look good. Yeah, I'm just gonna stir that right in. Doesn't that look yummy? So we're gonna have this, we're having potatoes. My potatoes are cooking, and we've got a nice salad tonight. There we go. Yeah, that's just the texture I was looking for. I just needed stirring up a little bit. A nice sloopy beans. And then we're having salad, and this is Chris's salad and my salad. And these are mixed greens with arugula. And then I have beet, cabbage, and pear, and red onion on there. And I think it looks pretty tasty. We're just going to spritz it with a little balsamic vinegar tonight. And that's it for our dish. And I did end up having to add a few more seasonings to it to get it to where I liked it. And I noted that in the recipe down below. So they came out just really good. And that flavor will be even more intense now that they've baked down a little bit. So this is your opportunity to, you know, I did more research. It was just a fancy name for navy bean. I was all excited, and it's just the same old thing as a navy bean. So, so now we're having some good navy beans tonight. All right, well, let me know if you try them and what you think, and we'll head on to the next bean.